Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Today is Thursday, January 12th, and I'm Cara Falco.
It's been a minute.
It has.
Yeah, I'm Kristina Behr. This morning we have the latest on the FAA glitch that delayed over 100 flights at Newark Airport yesterday.
Plus, a deadline for property tax relief gets pushed back. And let's get a check of the wet weather forecast. We'll be seeing some periods of showers today as highs gradually climb to around 53 degrees.
Yeah, taking a look at conditions statewide, expect a high of 50 in Sussex, 55 in Trenton, low 50s along the shoreline, and a mild 56 degrees in Camden.
Showers will then increase in coverage later this evening and tonight as winds gust between 30 and 45 miles an hour with the highest wind gusts closer to the coast.
Yeah, this is crazy. Things will improve, though, in time for the weekend. So if you have those weekend plans, stick around because we have a weekend outlook and the next weather update. You don't want to miss it. But now let's get a check your traffic. Don Smith has a look at the roads and the rails, and it is wet out there. So that means people forget how to drive all of a sudden.
Yes.
Don.
Well, yeah, that's usually what happens here in New Jersey is that, we just don't get a little rain in like a week or so. Then everybody just decides, hey, we just don't remember how to drive. So, yeah, things are a little bit wet. Good morning, Cara. Good morning, Kristina. Nice to see you here. And yes, it has been quite some time, but we are back here on the New Jersey Morning Show. And unfortunately, we're dealing with this down utility pole both ways here on 23. We're getting that reports of that shutdown. It looks like it's just south of like Sussex in Wantage Township. It's kind of like on the border there. It's been out there for most of the morning, but at this point now it's closing up all the lanes in both sides. And that could just be temporary in order to get the wires and the pole and everything, all the equipment into place, and then they'll reopen a lane or so. Also looking at a broken down vehicle on the turnpike going north here over by interchange 13. And that is going to be on the exit ramps. Watch for that. So let's show you where this is. This is that by the Acme here by the Royal Buick Franklin Sussex Auto Mall. It's kind of where 23 kind of splits getting up into East Main Street in Sussex. That is where it is shut. It's just south of that location right in here out by Lewisburg Road, as the DOT said. So give yourself a few minutes of extra travel time. Again, hopefully it won't be closed for most of the morning, but we'll see. Sometimes they go out the crews after about 9 o'clock, as we are here at 9:03, to go ahead and do the repairs. And let's widen up the North Jersey map here for this first report. 208 still seeing a lot of traffic getting down into Fair Lawn. Same thing on 17, both ways here in Rochelle Park. Route 4 is busy. Route 80 both ways out by Route 19, Route 20. Same thing on 46 and Route 3. Kind of just normal congestion from the morning rush hour, still trying to wind itself down. As Kristina said, roadways are wet, so be careful. Could be a little bit slippery out there. And then the parkway still all tuned up here into Bloomfield. And we head out towards Parsippany, both ways of 80. Even that's beginning to come down. But this 24 delay is still with us here, heading east of 287. Same thing on 78, the local lanes out through Milburn. And the parkway still fairly consistently busy. Clark on up into Union. Let's go to the Hudson River crossings. I knew I didn't have my map ready for that, but we're still under the half-hour mark pretty much across the board. As you can see here, about 25 at the George, 20 at the Lincoln, and about 20 at the Holland. New Jersey Transit was just one canceled train about a half hour ago into Penn Station. It was canceled at Newark, but that's about it. And PATH is on or close to schedule. And that's happening here in the traffic center. Cara, Kristina, send it back to you.
All right, Donnie, thanks so much.
So speaking of traffic, things are returning to normal at Newark Airport after an FAA computer glitch led to a temporary shutdown of all outgoing air traffic across the country yesterday morning.
Yeah, it was chaos. According to data from FlightAware, 103 flights were grounded at Newark Airport, making it the third most affected airport in the country. 16 flights were canceled altogether.
The glitch shut down the FAA's Notice-to-Air mission system, a critical tool which gives pilots information needed to ensure a safe flight.
Over 4,000 flights were delayed nationwide due to the temporary shutdown. And then when you add weather and the lack of personnel and all of that stuff, it just all compounds.
It just sounds like a dream.
But you know what's more terrifying in this respect is that, they had a backup system. They started having issues the night before, and they went to a backup system, and then they did a reboot, which is why it took forever to come back on, and you had this issue. But my concern is, why was there not another secondary thing in place? Like, that's more terrifying, the fact that their main system, which is, for the safety of the passengers and the crew,
everybody,
this is what goes down, and then you literally are crippled. In, nationwide. Like that's the scary part to me.
Exactly. It's like, we need somebody better systems in place. I
You
think.
know, Pete Buttigieg
Or
got
at
on
the
the
very
horn.
least, I feel like there's got to be like somebody who still remembers like old school, like here's a map, here's all the play. Like I'm like, there was a way of doing this before computers. Like we
Right.
had airplanes before computers.
There's
So it's
gotta
like
be.
you need somebody. There's got to be somebody who remembers what we did prior to that.
Before
like,
this, it's
keep
kind of like
track.
before cell phones. What did we do?
Right,
We had to, but Pete Buttigieg, you know, got on the horn. You know, he's getting a lot of heat from it. He said, we're going to do a full investigation and find out what happened. But it's like the question is, why is there no other?
Why is there not a better? Yeah, like why is there not another
Yeah,
backup? Absolutely,
so-
absolutely. All right, guys. Carl Sandburg Middle School in Old Bridge is going to remain closed until next week as work continues to repair several underground gas leaks.
Yeah, in a letter to parents, school officials said the leaks prevented hot water and classroom heating systems from functioning. Students are currently learning online with supervised learning centers being set up at Old Bridge High School for those who actually need them.
And officials added that the school could reopen next week after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. 2 missed learning days will be made up later in the school year. I feel like this is one of the good things that have actually come out of the pandemic is we now have
Protocol.
at a minimum a functional system in place
Yeah.
for kids to learn from home, and they're not going to be missing those days when these things happen.
Right, because you know things like this do happen. Unfortunately, some of our school systems and our schools are really
Older
old.
buildings. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you know things will happen. So yeah, for sure. And even with like the snow days that we haven't had yet, but you know they can rely on. Okay, unfortunately for kids.
I know. I was going to say there's something to be said about a snow day, and
Yeah.
there are some school districts that are like let them have the snow days,
Right.
kind of a thing. Like we
The
always
rite of
anticipated
passage,
that. Yeah, exactly.
for sure.
But for stuff like this, it's good. You know, the kids
perfect.
didn't miss a week of school.
Yeah, exactly. They just kept it moving.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Well, homeowners looking to apply for the state's anchor property tax relief program will also have an extra month to do so now, with the deadline being extended once again to February 28th.
It's good news. The
Yeah.
$2 billion program is expected to help residents cope with the state's property taxes, which are the highest in the country.
Yeah, the deadline delay comes as 1.2 million already applied to the program. Homeowners making $150,000 or less will receive the maximum rebate of $1,500, pretty good, while those making more will earn smaller rebates. And I know they sent out, you know, cards and letters saying, hey, make sure you apply. Do that. You know,
I know. I
they're
gotta send mine in.
I know. Same here. They're making an effort, though. They're really reaching out
Yes.
and saying, listen, we have this money. We want to give it to you.
We want to give it to you.
Just apply. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, it's good that they extended it to give people more time
Yeah,
to get on the horn.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's needed and every little bit helps.
For sure, everything helps. Yeah. So our first guest is amazing. Jordan Toma is an author and motivational speaker who has become successful by overcoming his learning disabilities.
He's here with us today to tell us all about it. Good morning, Jordan. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Hey, good morning, Cara. Good morning, Kristina. Thank you for having me.
I hope I said your last name right. Toma.
You did. It was good.
Okay.
Toma. That's it.
Good. Thank you for being with us. So we want to know more about your journey. What was it like dealing with your learning disabilities?
So it was tough. In school, it's tough because in school, that's the only thing you can kind of compare your life to, right? How good you are in school, how successful you are in school. And I struggled a lot. And I doubted myself through school, and then it carried over through life, right? And I thought I would never make it because of me not being successful in school. Then as I got older and I had a mom that really pushed me and believed in me before I ever believed in myself, and she pushed me and pushed me and pushed, even though I didn't push myself and I wanted to quit and I was waiting for my mom to quit on me, she kept going until finally I proved it to myself. And she helped me get into college. I never thought I could ever go to college. And I never passed an assignment on my own till I was 18 years old, was my freshman year in summer school in college. And at that moment, I realized my mom was right. And I was selling myself short the whole time. And sometimes, you know, we are all one moment away. And it took me 18 years, but I was one moment away from proving it to myself. And I have a message to kids that are struggling right now in school. And I've been delivering that message for the couple of years now, and that your struggle really is your strength. And I struggled my whole life, but if I didn't struggle, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. And that's the benefit of struggling. And right now you might be struggling, but that's your strength.
Jordan, I think this is so interesting. And as you tell your story, I can think of 2 or 3 people even that I know personally who have exactly the same struggles. I mean, even have a family member drop out of high school because she just found school so difficult because of her learning disabilities. What are some of the keys to overcoming these challenges? I mean, is it always fall on the student? You mentioned your mom, which is so beautiful that she, supported you and believed in you. What can people do to kind of overcome these things?
like what you just said, right? Someone that you know dropped out of school because they were struggling, right? And they didn't think they can make it. So something you need to remember is that our life are full of mistakes, right? We're going to struggle. And the biggest thing you have to remember is you have to struggle until you figure out who you are. So for that person or the kids that are struggling, they have to just keep going. They have to keep showing up, and they have to realize, and all the students that are listening to me and the parents and the moms, right? It's not about the grades that they get, right? A lot of times in school, we're comparing ourselves to the grades, the SAT scores, what college we're going to go to. It's not about that. It's about who you become to get that grade. So if you worked your hardest and you put everything into it, you got a C and you got a D, or maybe you got an F. That's not the real grade. That's not it. The grade is who you became to get it and how hard you worked. And that's what you need to focus on. And when you focus on that, you can continue to show up. You continue to push. And when you push and push and push, you open up doors that you never would have opened before. And for someone that might drop out, might not get to that point. So that's why now I travel the country. I share my story at schools, organizations, churches, conferences, right? So I don't want kids to quit when it's hard, because I know if they keep showing up, they're going to have that moment. And when they get to that moment, everything's going to make sense. All those struggles, all the hard times, every moment across the way, right, meant everything just for that one moment to prove it to themselves. And they have to keep showing up. They have to. And I'm here to make them do that.
What inspired you to write the book and sort of pay it forward and like share your knowledge with these other kids? What was the sort of turning point for you?
So I struggled in school, right? I got to college. I never thought I would ever graduate college. I graduated, right? And I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, I did this. Like, I'm a college graduate, right? That was like my biggest mountain for me. Like, if I can do college, I can do anything. And I did it. And when I got out of college, I started to work, right? And I had this mindset where, hey, if I could pass chemistry, right? If I can get through algebra, if I can write a paper, because it's so hard for me to write, if I can do that, I can do anything else. So I started to take that momentum, and I started to work really hard at the things in life. Like, I had a couple jobs, right? Windows, door to door. I became a financial advisor, a successful financial advisor. And I said to myself, after years of doing this, that there are so many kids out there that aren't going to get to this point. They're going to stop. They're going to stop because it's hard in school right now, but they don't know how powerful they are if they keep on going, and they got to get to this moment where I got. And I don't want them to slip through the cracks. So I started writing my book. It took me 2 years to write this book, 2 years, because I'm not a good writer. And it's hard to get my words from the brain to the paper. It's really hard for me. So I get up at 4 a.m. and I would just write, and I would write. And I wrote this book. I kept it in my Word document, right? Because I was kind of afraid to show the world, like some of my weaknesses and all the things that I went through. I didn't want to do it, but I knew that if I didn't go out and put myself out there, I couldn't help anyone. So I wrote it. It took me 2 years. I tried to find a publisher to publish it for me. Nobody would give me a chance. Nobody. So I said, you know what?
Wow.
Sometimes in life, you got to give yourself the chance, right? So I published it myself. I put it out there. It's been the top selling book on Amazon. There are mistakes in this book. I wrote it. There's no ghostwriter. It's just me. It's real. It's 100% me. And I kept it that way because we are nothing without our mistakes, right? Our mistakes are everything for us. But if we keep moving through our mistakes, just like this book shows, there's nothing that we can't do. So now I have something that I wrote that every kid and all over the world can get and just read it, and it can be hope for them. So on those days when they're struggling, when they're in the classroom and they feel lost, or when they go home and they're trying to do their homework and they're doubting themselves, read this book, right? And it's going to give them hope. And when you have hope, you have the ability to keep on moving. And that's what I wanted for kids. And that's why I wrote it. And now, I'm traveling the country. I'm spreading the word. The book is everywhere. And it's just awesome. And I never thought this would ever happen. I just wanted to help kids, and it's kind of taken off. So it's really awesome.
And you keep it real too. I love that. I love that, notion that it's like, I don't care that there's mistakes in this book. That's who that's part of who I am. And that's such a great message.
And I was going to say, I think it just so aligns with your message to kids as well. Like it is okay to make mistakes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, Jordan, do you have any thoughts on kind of, I guess, like the school system in general? I feel like we do hold kids to a very
high
standard, not even a high standard, but just a very set standard that doesn't necessarily, you and I talk all the time about, when they came out with the new math. And for me, it would have been easier to learn math in that way. And do you think, do you want to see maybe schools kind of come up with some alternate teaching methods that are better suited to children with learning disabilities? Because I feel like a lot of times, these kids are brilliant. They just don't learn in the same way. And it's like, you just have to approach them differently. And maybe if we kind of implemented some of those things.
Right. 100%. And the thing is, I haven't been in school in a long time. So when I think about it, right, I think about school, it was, the thing about school is this, your confidence, right, when you're younger is like on the line every moment,
Yeah.
right? So if you're not good in school and like you're struggling, your confidence is just not there. It's not there. So I think the biggest thing when it comes to schools, every child learns differently, right? And every child has different gifts, right? Someone's good at math, someone's good at writing, maybe someone's good at building things, right? But you don't have a class really with like building things, or you don't. So your gifts don't really shine at that point in your life. But so it's hard to kind of change the school system that way. But what I think teachers and school systems can do very easily without changing like the whole curriculum and everything like that is that they can go look at the kids, right? And look at the kids that maybe are struggling. Don't forget the kids in the back, right? That are sitting in the back, that aren't raising their hand, the ones that are getting into trouble, those kids, right? They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to be in the back, but right now they're not comfortable, right? And they don't feel like they can make it. The teachers need to go up to those kids, right? And give everyone a chance, right? Even the kids that are succeeding, but don't forget those kids and say, hey, listen, I believe in you, right? Yeah. I believe in you. We're going to get through this together. And if you're struggling, come to me after class, meet up with me, come before class, whatever it is, we're going to get through this together and we're going to do this, right? And just having someone believe in you right outside of your family can change the life of so many kids. That's all they really need, because I believe, right, if math is hard for you, if English is hard for you, you need to face it and you need to give it everything you got, because if you run from that, then you're never going to know who you are in those tough moments. So you got to push through that, because that's just life. But if someone's believing you along the way, if you prove things to yourself that you never thought you can do, like spelling, math, school, that changes your life. And that's why the biggest thing is, hey, let's have someone that's believing in you. And I think teachers right now, even today, that's watching this, right, or tomorrow morning, they know exactly who I'm talking about, and they can make that change immediately. And that can be life-changing for a lot of students.
Yeah, the confidence goes way beyond just the numbers and the grades. Like the confidence is really what you take on in life, not the, the A, B, C, or D or whatever that you're getting in class.
No.
Where can people find out more information about you and the book as well?
So my book is available on Amazon. It's me standing in front of my school bus, the actual school bus that I couldn't get on for years because I had so much anxiety. It was my biggest fear. So I put it on the cover of me standing in front of it. So you can get the book on Amazon. It's all over the internet. You get it anywhere, but it's on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Just a Kid with an IEP is my name, or Jordan Toma, or my Facebook page, I'm Just a Kid with an IEP LLC, or my TikTok, I'm Just a Kid with an IEP. So I'm on social media, and my website, jordantoma.com, if you want to book me to come to your school or your next event.
Amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Jordan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations. Amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Such good stuff. Yeah. I just, like I said, I think, that's so great. I loved his advice to teachers to just be like, reach out to those kids because it's not that they're troublemakers. They're just struggling.
Yeah.
Like, see if there's another way.
They learn in a different way. I believe that fully.
100%.
Fully. Yeah. I mean, if you think back to when we were in school too, it's like, everybody was different, and everybody learns at their same, different pace and their own pace and their own lane. So.
But I feel like, and I went to Catholic schools, but so we still had we had art and we had music, and so those kids that did shine in those not necessarily academic things, at least had a place where they could shine. And I feel like so many schools are cutting these things out. It's like,
because of
you
funding,
have to give them an opportunity to
an outlet.
And something.
Totally.
Something.
Amazing. Well, up next, how a new state law aims to help students, speaking of which, become more informed news consumers.
I absolutely.
The fake news law.
I love it. I love it. Plus, we've got the latest renderings of the new ferry terminal planned for Carteret.
The much needed ferry terminal. You can always find us over on social media. Search for @NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
2020 felt like a dark tunnel. And while 2020 is over, the impact is not. The pandemic affected both our physical and mental health.
We started the Cody Fund for Mental Health to change lives, so we want you to know about NJ211.
It's a referral service for anyone in crisis, even children.
I'm living proof that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train, it's help. It's NJ211.
Right now, New Jersey's youth are dealing with a lot. Growing up today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but you're not alone. If you're worried about someone, reach out and point them to help if they need it. The New Jersey Department of Children and Families offers support to children and youth in crisis. Help is available by phone or text whenever you need it. Be there for a friend, and know where to turn for help. Suicide should never be the answer. Growing up can be hard. Getting help shouldn't be.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. We're going to start off once again with weather, and unfortunately, the week ending on a wet note. But as you can see in our weather headlines, it's not going to be a complete washout. That's the good news. And actually, no snow. So for those of us who don't like the snow, it's good news. For those of us who do like the snow, it's a little bit of bad news. But weather conditions will improve during the day on Friday as the rain exits by early morning, setting us up for a pretty decent weekend with near normal temperatures before milder conditions return actually for next week once again. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
In fact, the only part of the country projected to see temperatures averaging below normal next week is the southwestern U.S., where more storm systems are projected to impact the West Coast.
Yeah, for us here in New Jersey, things will be drying out on Friday again once the showers end in the early morning, leading to dry conditions for the weekend, which average right around 40 degrees. So not terrible, not too cold, but again, a little bit abnormal, I want to say, for this time of the year. I was looking back at pictures last year. We had already had our first snowstorm, like January 3rd or something. I was playing with the kids in the snow. And so this year, it doesn't,
I'm like
spring.
Am I going skiing at some point?
Right,
Like,
it's
when
bizarre.
is this happening? I don't think it's.
Well, you know how Jersey is. Like, all of a sudden, somebody flips a switch, and then all of a sudden, we're going to get
my
dumped on.
concern about this. My concern about this is that, like, in March, it's going to be 28 degrees. And yeah, I'm like, oh, because you know it's coming. Well, now we're not escaping it. It's just not happening.
When the tulips are coming out of the ground,
yeah, like all of a sudden there's going to be a foot of snow.
I hope not.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, let's check the ride. Let's bring in Don Smith for a look at things. Don, what do you think? This rain is not good for the traffic either.
No, it's not, and it's almost that it's really that kind of annoying kind of rain, where you put the intermittent wipers on, then you get the spray from the truck or the car behind, in front of you. So it's just not pleasant out there. And I just feel like we haven't seen the sun in like forever. I don't know.
Yeah,
this whole week has just been like the Seattle, right? Exactly. Let's get you over to the graphics here this morning, and I brought up the camera full screen just to kind of give you, traffic and weather always go together. Kind of give a glimpse of the traffic kind of slowing down both ways here on the Parkway at 148 in Bloomfield. But you can see, as Cara says, it's a gray, kind of ugly day. It's just that annoyance type rain. The spritzes that come from here and there need the windshield washer fluid type situation. But again, we'll get through it. It's just a little heavy there going north on the far left, getting in towards 148. Still the outlier that actually just came in as we were watching the camera. Looks like we have a crash here inbound up the Holland Tunnel, so look for that. And then this 23 situation both ways here out by Lewisburg Road on 23. That is still shut down with an ongoing emergency construction with the down utility pole. Now we'll go into central Jersey. Looks good on 33, Route 9, 18. Your Parkway is fine through Monmouth County. 29 is still a little bit busy into the Trenton Tunnel, but even that's beginning to thin itself out. Turnpike is fine. 18 in East Brunswick is a little bit crowded, so is Route 1 getting just south of 130. Nothing terribly to, kind of write home about per se. Atlantic County, South Jersey, Parkway, 206, 295, all good. 55 is fine. Delaware Memorial Bridge is good. ACA Expressway, 55, Route 9, and your Parkway is going to be clear. Now, New Jersey Transit, different story now. We've got rail service in and out of Penn Station. In the city, up to 15 minutes because of a speed restriction near the Amtrak Portal Bridge. And sometimes that happens when you get some moisture on the rails that they have to slow down just in the chance that it becomes a little bit of a slippery rail condition. And PATH is on or close to schedule, but beginning at 10 o'clock, Hackensack River mandatory test lifting begins from 10 to 11 and then from 1 to 2 on the Newark World Trade Line. And that's what's happening here in a kind of moderate traffic center here at 925. Cara and Kristina, send it back to you.
All right, Don, thanks so much.
Well, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection now suing the town of North Wildwood after it allegedly defied a state order to not make repairs to eroded beach dunes last year.
Town officials have responded by asking a judge to order the state to pay the town for the $21 million in restoration costs. The town has been trucking in sand from nearby Wildwood.
Yeah, this has been going on for a little bit.
It's a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah, it is a weird one. It's kind of like, who pays for it, right? Yeah. Who is supposed to pay for it? I mean, it has to get done.
And I guess I was going to say, apparently the state feels it does not.
Yeah. But I mean, usually doesn't it have to? Isn't it part of the state
I would assume
budget?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of that
It's going to be a
works.
tricky one.
Yeah.
Meantime, a new state law will require the Department of Education to create standards for information literacy to help students become better news consumers. Love this.
Love this law. Under the new law, students will learn about topics including how information is researched, the ethical production of information, and the difference between fact and opinion.
Love it. The Board of Education will allow the public to give their feedback before the standards are formally adopted into the state curriculum. But I mean, this is so needed right now in our country, not just for kids, but I
was
think
going
for
to say
adults
the
too.
parents should come. Everybody needs this.
I mean, you don't just get your news on TikTok. It's
No.
not necessarily true.
No. And you know what? I think now that like things are opened back up and we can, kind of go,
Yeah.
I would love, I mean, I know field trips have been like dying for such a long
Yeah.
time. Take the kids to the local news station.
Yeah.
Show them how it's actually done.
How you make the sauce. For sure,
Yeah.
the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's so true because people just have their ways of getting their news, and
Right.
it's not always the correct way.
Well, and just, when you do it on social media, there's an algorithm involved. You are going to be
Right.
shown things that align
Right.
with the things you're already looking at. I mean,
Right.
it's just meant to be pleasant
Right.
for you, but
Right.
that doesn't make it true.
Right, exactly.
So-
And it's such a dangerous time too, especially with social media and
Oh, yeah.
spreading
absolutely.
misinformation. So I'm excited for it.
I'm
I hope
excited for it.
it's-
It should be great. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see that come through. So, speaking of getting to work, Carteret
Yes.
released the first renderings of what their new ferry terminal might look like.
Yeah, these photos come as town officials continue to work to secure the funding for the terminal. $46 million already has been raised for this project.
So when it's completed, the terminal will feature a variety of amenities, including restaurants, offices, and retail space.
Carteret has already ordered 2 ferry boats to operate out of the future terminal. The town has not yet begun construction, however, on the terminal, but it is coming, and it's going to be, very well received because people have been waiting so long for this.
Yeah.
And it's going to hopefully alleviate so many issues that people have had.
The people that I know that commute to the city via ferry are always very happy with
Yes.
their commute.
Yes.
I mean, there's very few delays. I mean, Don was just telling us about, delays on NJ Transit, which, when we run on the
It's
Amtrak lines,
inevitable.
it's inevitable. But I just feel like the ferries have always been a good way to go. And I
Solid.
think more and more people
Yeah.
enjoy going that way.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's always a
It's
nice ride.
always a
It's
nice
always a
view.
nice ride.
And you really don't, it takes them, the thinking out of all. You just
Yes.
get on the boat and you're good.
And you're good. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the first time you and I have worked together so far for the
Yeah.
new year. And
It's
with the
crazy.
year turning to 2023, many folks are looking to fulfill their New Year's resolutions. Not you. You don't. I'm not a resolver.
I resolve
either.
not to resolve, but I do set goals.
Goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
here now to give us some more tips is lifestyle expert Kathy Schland. Thank you so much for being with us, Kathy.
Hello, girls. How are you?
How
Happy
you doing?
New Year.
Happy New Year. I was saying, when do we stop saying
When
Happy
is
New
it
Year?
too late to say Happy New Year?
The end of January stops.
Okay.
End of January. Okay, good. Now we know. Good. Hey, Kathy, listen. It's notorious at this point. People make these massive
Yeah.
resolutions, and by right about now, they're done. What happened?
Yeah.
We're done. 43% of people within the first week are tossing it out to
Wow.
garbage. Yeah. So we got to pivot. We got to do something else. You should not do New Year's resolutions. We got to out with the old, in with the new. You can do these 5 steps and you'll be more successful, ladies. Trust me. Pop the bubbly and you'll celebrate. First one is a bucket list. I do it every year, ladies. I put 15 things on a list. It could be a big vacation, start a new hobby, take an improv class. I myself am going to jump out of an airplane this year.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Gonna check it off.
I like it.
That's
I know,
that's
good
amazing.
one, right?
Yeah.
Good one. Take a yearly challenge is the next one. I hate exercising. If I put that as a New Year's resolution, I'd bomb. But yearly, I'm going to try walking 3 times a week for the year, and I'm going to check it off and not put, I think the word resolution puts so much drama on it.
Pressure,
yeah.
Pressure. We're like, if we don't finish, we're losers, but we're not. So I'm going to try this, the yearly challenge. And you could do anything. You could, if you can't cook, learn a new recipe once a week and feed your family where they're not, making faces and want to run out to McDonald's. I mean, The third one is create a list to look forward to. So it could be about new experiences. It could be as big as a vacation, throwing yourself a big birthday party, taking a hike, doing another hobby. Just go think outside the box. You know what I mean? And as simple as going to a new restaurant that opens up in your town. And once you check it off the list, you're like, wow, new experiences are awesome. No pressure, right? I mean, it's fabulous. The fourth one is 365 project. This one I love. And ladies, I came up with these talking with my girlfriends because we all hate the word New Year's resolutions. Like I said, it's like your fingers on a chalkboard. You just kind of like, no. So this one, you do this one thing every day for a year. You can write in a journal. You can meditate, learn a new word every day for that year, talk to somebody new every day. I pick that one. So every store I go to, I stop and say, hello, how are you? If I'm looking in clothes, I'm talking to the lady. Oh, that looks beautiful on you, or so on. So that's a good one. You kind of pay it forward, and you never know what kind of kindness you can bring to somebody for that day.
Yeah, that's
I like that.
great.
That's beautiful.
I mean, I want to flip it though. All right. So
Okay.
let's talk December 2023, right? And you make this list, and maybe you didn't accomplish some of these things on your list. How do you get out of the mindset that I failed, right? I think a lot of us kind of immediately go there and say, oh, I didn't do this. Why, I'm the worst. Like, how do you get out of that mindset? Maybe not even get there.
The last one is a life audit. You write down what was positive in that year and what was negative. And you look at it, and at the end of the next year, you see where you did better, like finances, relationships, health. I mean, my life audit for 2023 for 2024 is to pay off my credit cards.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Ladies, I am going to try. I'm going to so try. So you could adjust it there. I wouldn't look at it as failure. It's just you're adding. That's the problem. We put too much pressure on ourselves, especially as moms. We don't have half the time to do this stuff.
Right.
You got to give yourself a break. Brad Paisley wrote that start the new year as a 365-page book. It's the first page, and write a good one.
Yeah. I love that.
Absolutely.
That's a great.
Well, and I love too, Kathy, some of the things that you suggested. I think so many folks are like, I'm going to lose 40 pounds this year and go to the gym every day. And it's like so overwhelming where you could say, I'm going to start every day with 8 ounces of water.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so much more manageable. Is that like kind of the kind of stuff that you encourage as well?
Yes, total manageable. You don't put such high expectations on yourself. I mean, one year I said I was going to lose 40 pounds and wear a thong bikini on the beach. That was 10 years ago, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm still, So take that away. It's like, don't get your mental health all, crazy.
Wonky,
because you didn't finish your resolutions. That's why you got to throw that word out. We got to throw it out.
Yeah. Just tangible goals, like things that are reasonable.
Well, and I think even if you look at, like Kathy, you just say, I'm going to lose 40 pounds and wear a thong bikini. Like, what is that really? I'm going to be more confident. And even that, I mean, I think if you kind of sit with yourself for a minute and go, what is it that I'm really looking for? Because it's not the thong bikini. It's I want to feel more confident, then you can kind of work your way around that sort of stuff.
Yes, so absolutely. You got to let the expectations go because it's just too draining. It gets us, like you guys said, you feel like a failure.
Yeah,
Who wants to feel like a failure? Nobody.
No, of course not. Hey, Kathy, where can folks find out more about you and how they can kind of tailor their resolutions?
Everything is at Unfiltered Kathy. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, my blog, Unfiltered Kathy. Fellow Jersey girl.
Yay.
I love it.
Kathy, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for this advice. It's amazing. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yay.
Have a great weekend.
I resolve not to resolve.
I
That's the
like
resolution.
it. I like it. Yeah, no, I think I love her message. You can keep it small, keep it
Small
simple,
goals,
and
yeah.
you'll get there. You really will. I think sometimes we underestimate the small steps.
Yeah.
And
It's like we're too much in a rush.
yeah,
to get
it's
to
like,
the
oh, I'm
big
not
thing.
doing enough, and it's like,
No, you got to put
just
the time
drink
in.
your water. You'll be all right.
Do the work. Do the work.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Up next, we're going to tell you which New Jersey town has the most lightning strikes
Ooh.
last year.
Pretty crazy. Plus the 1 million second place prize from Tuesday's Mega Millions drawing. We'll tell you where it was actually sold.
And of course, you guys can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for @NJ Morning Show and be sure to click follow.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
The New Jersey Hall of Fame is coming to you, celebrating our best and brightest, greeting guests along our Garden State Parkway through its 9 service areas, engaging travelers from our terminals to our transit centers, inspiring new generations as we move from town to town, and at New Jersey's hottest red carpet ceremony, inspiring New Jerseyans at our new home at American Dream. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and it's where you want to be because everyone needs a hero.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Let's get you another look at today's forecast. You might want to grab the umbrella as you head out the door this morning. Periods of showers are expected at times today, and the unsettled weather will be ramping up during the evening commute.
Yeah, thanks to the showers and southerly winds, temperatures will gradually increase throughout the day, eventually topping out at 53 degrees in Newark and Flemington, 55 in the state capital, 56 in Camden, 53 in Seabright and Belmar, 52 down in Atlantic City and Cape May.
And then the forecast looks different for the weekend, so stick around for that anticipated 7-day forecast. We've got that coming up for you in just a little bit.
Feeling a little springy, and with these showers for sure. And unfortunately, the traffic is taking a hit from all this weather. Don Smith has a look at the roads right now. Don, how are we looking?
Yeah, it's definitely slippery out there, Kristina. No definite question about that. So slow things down. Just be careful. Again, it's really that annoyance type rain, the intermittent wipers, and then just the spray from, let's say, the trucks on 287 or Route 80 or the Turnpike or even the Parkway. So just give yourself a couple of extra minutes to kind of pad the time to get to your destination safely. Let's get you over to the maps here this morning. We're just getting word now of a crash here on the Turnpike north of Route 46. That's actually what I was looking for. We'll go to the cameras again in a second, but inbound Holland still has a crash that's being cleared. It looks like it's at the toll plaza itself, because as we bring in the Hudson River crossings, we're about 15 minutes or so, and that's pretty much across the board for the Lincoln and the George. We want to go to that Turnpike situation, and let's just see if we can see anything here. Let's blow that up full screen. It's just past 46, so Route 46 is off here. That's going north, getting up to the George Washington Bridge. Again, you can see the gray, ugly conditions out there. So, again, just be careful. Let's just hang with it for a second. I think they're going to be looking for it. Let's just see if they can zoom in past the overpass there. And we'll just hang with it another second. All right, we'll come back for our last report and see what else they have in store. What we also have in store is New Jersey Transit. We've got issues here this morning, up to 15-minute delays both ways into and out of Penn in the city because of the speed restriction near the Amtrak Portal Bridge. So just be mindful of that if you are heading into the city here this morning. We go to the maps in 23. We're still shut down both ways here, south of Lewisburg Road in Sussex, up with Franklin Sussex Auto Mall. So look for that. It's down utility pole. That's still being cleared. But as we widen things up, our morning rush hour is gone. 287, Route 15, Route 80, all the way out through Warren County is clear. 80 in Patterson. Everything has really been settling down nicely. North on the Parkway in Bloomfield, still pretty heavy, but 280 across the Stickle Drawbridge, that is going to be heavy. But again, for the most part, North and Central Jersey, we are going to be in the clear. And just giving the alert on path once again, Hackensack River test lifting begins at the top of the hour, so Northwold trade can be affected. And that's what's happening here in the traffic center. Cara and Kristina, I'll send it back to you.
So a new report found that Wayne and Patterson got the most lightning strikes in New Jersey last year.
The report comes from Vaisala, a Finnish company that creates weather measurement products. Now, it found that Wayne and Patterson both averaged 39 lightning strikes per square kilometer, just over 6 times the state average of 6 lightning strikes per square kilometer.
A lot of lightning in New Jersey, but towns in other part of the country got even more. The leading town was Four Corners, Florida. They got 474 lightning strikes per square kilometer.
I mean, Florida.
Another reason why Florida is a great place to visit, not live.
Not to live, yeah. The lightning gets pretty crazy down there, too.
Well, because, I mean, it's a thunderstorm
every day.
They just...
and sometimes it's just lightning and thunder, and it's like no rain.
It's like hot and humid and just like builds up.
It's just like, I'm irritated. The sky is irritated. Like, literally.
Literally.
It's beautiful, but not
no, exactly. Well, that's crazy, yeah.
Well, while no one won the $1.1 billion jackpot in Tuesday night's Mega Millions drawing, one lucky player in Ocean County will walk away with a pretty nice consolation prize. They're one of 16 second-place winners who will walk away with $1 million in winnings.
That's not too shabby. Meanwhile, the jackpot keeps on rising. The next drawing tomorrow night is $1.35 billion. That is the second largest potential jackpot ever. I need to go get my tickets.
Yeah, same. I always keep, hearing these stories. I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
I saw it driving on the turnpike, because they have like the and I was like, I'm sorry, did that say B? Like, I almost got in an accident. I was like, what?
It was funny because I saw a report, they were breaking down all the numbers and the post taxes or something. So it's like 500 million post tax and then another tax on top of it. So you're lucky if you break, with 200 million. I was like, still.
My life is not so good that I'm going to sneeze at $200 million. I really don't.
Maybe $1,000. I actually even take 2.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, if I make my money back on the ticket, I'm good.
I know, seriously. Just to buy a cup of coffee, something.
Something. No, that's $200 million, and I'm not gonna be like, that's not good enough.
Not bad.
Don't bother.
Not bad. So get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
I love our next guest. We've had him on before, and he's back again. The Beautiful and Bothered podcast takes a look at pop culture, social media, comedy, and music.
Here now to tell us more is host of the podcast, Johnny Ross. Good morning, Johnny.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me back.
We had you on a couple months ago. I think you had been off that day, so you unfortunately missed Johnny that day.
I did. I was going to say, I know I did.
Yes, but you've been hard at work with social media. You have so many followers with not just your comedy, but also your makeup tips. And you've just been so inspiring to people like me who have no idea what they're doing when it comes to makeup. And now you have this amazing podcast coming up. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What inspired you to start a podcast?
Yeah, well, I've always been so incredibly interested in people's tenacity and drive and what makes someone successful. And I think not only in their careers or their relationship, but when people get knocked down again and again, what makes someone want to get up and try to continue to achieve their dream or keep going to school or do whatever it is they're trying to pursue. And I've always been a very observant person. And I think that's one of the best ways to learn. And we're living in a time when I think people really need to just listen a little bit more and even humanize the people that they might idolize on social media. I think we lose, awareness of the fact that these are just people behind the camera on both ends of it, where we can be a little bit too scrutinizing and dehumanizing. But then in the same breath, they're not gods, and anybody can achieve what they can achieve. So I really wanted to sit down with people and just analyze what made them keep going and what made them successful, and really giving people the answers on how to balance their lives and pursue their dream in any way or to do anything they want.
Yeah, secrets of success. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah, it sounds so good. So what was the process of putting it together look like? Because I feel like I know so many people who want to kind of start a podcast, or they have an idea and they don't know where to start.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm a definitely over ambitious person. So I in addition to still doing just as much makeup and beauty content as I always have, to start it out, I really just sat down and wrote that kind of everything I just described to you, what the motivation was, what do you want to say? And I think that's always the most important thing is you have to have a point of view, or you have to understand what value you're bringing to the listeners. And a lot of people have podcasts, and I think they maybe don't realize that, you know, I always joke my least favorite podcast is when I feel like I'm just like someone turned a mic on in a room where two people are hanging out, and you're like, why, you know, I don't know the inside jokes. So you want to have a really direct point of view. And I knew I wanted to have guests on because I'd met so many incredible people in the beauty industry, and or musicians or teachers and comedians. And yes, a lot of them have huge social media followings, but they've also obviously worked in the field before they did. And I reached out to all those guests, and scheduling everybody is a pain, and you know, redoing the backdrop, and then you're editing everything and getting started. But I would say the best things are, you don't need all the high tech stuff. Just have a good point of view, realize what you're going to say, understand the value you're bringing to your audience, and then then it's housekeeping, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's real and it's raw. So people really respond to that kind of stuff. Who are you hoping to have on the show? Who is your dream guest?
Yeah, well, I mean, already we have, I've done interviews with like TikTok superstar, Michaela Najera, who has like 14 million TikTok followers. We have Erin Dugan, Yurchek. She's another one, 3 million TikTok followers in beauty. We have RuPaul's Drag Race queens. We have, we have Rebecca Rogers is an amazing YouTuber who has worked as a teacher for years and talks about like the difficulties of being a teacher, especially what's going on right now in the world. But I would love to just keep going and going and have obviously the biggest people in beauty, Nikki Tutorials. I would love to have even bigger musicians and actors and or even politicians. Just I'm so interested in talking to everyone and anybody about just what that universal quality of what makes you successful, what makes you get to where you are. And then once you have that or you achieve that, how do you balance it? How do you handle the responsibility? And what advice do you have for other people who are starting out? Because I think we live in a world now where everything is so oversaturated. It's so difficult to find a curation of knowledge that can really suit people. So that's what we're bringing.
Do you plan on also continuing the tutorials online on your socials and the
She's asking personally now.
I'm so obsessed when you go into like the drugstores and you find just like the drugstore products. I'm like, I have never.
Oh, I live and die by drugstore makeup.
Yes.
I mean, just amazing.
CVS.
I literally live and die by your suggestions. I literally just bought like a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, because John said so, and I'm gonna use it.
Yes, I am. I just filmed 2 days ago trying brand new all drugstore launches. It was about like 15 new things. We got some hits, some misses. So I'm still doing everything. Yep.
Yay! I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love my own personal.
For those of us who are maybe not sure, where can folks find you and the podcast?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. MR Johnny Ross and YouTube at Johnny Ross. And then the podcast is going to be an audio podcast called Beautiful and Bothered. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. And then each week, like I said, because I'm overambitious, there's going to be a visual version of the podcast where you see me and my guest every week, myself, and that's on the Beautiful and Bothered YouTube channel, which you can either just look up or find through mine.
I love fantastic. So many great things going on for you.
Absolutely.
We love you. Thanks for coming on. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to see you again.
Yay. All the best.
Oh my God, is he cute as a button or what?
I just, beautiful makeup. And I said to him last time too, I said, please be my makeup genie. Just if I snap fingers, will you show up?
Will you
come
and fix this?
Because I fix all of this. Because it's just like, you have to check it out. If you haven't seen it, you have to check out Instagram, TikTok. And it's entertaining too. He does some amazing comedy skits as well. So it's a mix of both worlds, and it's just
I love it.
Fantastic. All the best to Johnny.
Oh man, absolutely. All right. Well, so what we're gonna need today is waterproof makeup as we check the weather for you one more time, along with the umbrella today
mascara.
and the mascara runs all the time. So today and tonight, rain and gusty conditions take over the state, but take a look at our 7-day forecast. Highs will start out mild on Friday with temperatures in the 50s yet again. But once that cold front passes through, we'll dip down to the 30s at night. We'll only get to around 40 degrees for both days this weekend.
Yeah, Mom Nature can't make up her mind. However, those near normal temperatures quickly moving back into above normal territory with highs in the middle 40s to kick off the new week. Some showers possible for Tuesday before the temperatures get even milder for Wednesday, again with highs around 50. Sadly, this is not the kind of forecast that people who love skiing and the ski resorts like to see. Yeah, it's very odd. It is very odd this time of year.
I see, and here's my frustration with this weather is you can't go do something in the like when it snows and I can pack up my skis and go to the mountain for the afternoon. At least I got out of the house and I got to go do something. Rain is just miserable and you're stuck in your living room.
And it's just it's black
it's
to
black.
look at. At least snow is kind of pretty.
Snow is like pretty
when you don't have to drive in it.
Well, yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm like, I don't mind. Like get cold and stuff. Because like I said,
get it over with.
You know what's going to happen in like March and April.
It's gonna come
you're not
with a
avoiding
bang. It's gonna come with a bang. We'll keep you posted. For now, speaking of driving in the rain, let's get another check of that final commute. Don Smith, anything new popping up for you?
No, it's pretty much kind of the song remains the same here, ladies. And getting snow in March, I hate that. I don't like snow altogether, but that stuff is like wet cement, I mean, I think we kind of, if we're going to get any snow, let's hopefully it happens sometime in February when it's supposed to be really cold. But hey, this is a different kind of winter, I think, looking at almost into the 50s today. So we'll go over towards the camera. Just want to show you, traffic, weather go together. Get a glimpse here on getting onto Long Beach Island off of 72. We're fine. Looks like the rain is shut off and things are beginning to dry up. So that's some good news. Let's go to the incident page here. We still have this crash at the toll plaza for the Holland Tunnel. That's still being cleared. Also north on the Turnpike, just north of Route 46, as you come up towards the George Washington Bridge in the 8095 merge there. This morning, that has a crash being cleared, and also both ways at 23 at Lewisburg Road and Wantage, all lanes are going to be shut. Let's quickly go to the maps here this morning, and you can see it's starting to impact the ride getting to the George here, so be careful on that Turnpike, especially coming off there where it merges together past the Vince Lombardi service area, getting to the George Washington Bridge. We'll give you the freshest numbers here. Even with that crash at the toll plaza, the Holland Tunnel, we're still looking at about 15 minutes or so. Under about 15 pretty much across the board. The only other outlier is this New Jersey Transit situation, still 15 minutes here, both ways in Penn in the city because of a speed restriction at the Amtrak Portal Bridge. Also on path, we do have the Hackensack River testing going to affect Newark World Trade again. Newark World Trade, it's Newark World Trade beginning in about 10 minutes or so. So just keep that in mind. And then later this afternoon from 1 to 2. That's what's happening here in the traffic center of a fantastic and terrific Thursday. Cara, Kristina, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Don, thanks so much. See you tomorrow.
So the Newark Winter Village offers a variety of activities for families with their open air festival in downtown Newark.
Joining us to talk about the Winter Village is Marcy DePina of Newark City Parks. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good mornings. We're so excited to have you here. And I love this stuff. I think a lot of us think of it around the holidays, but it's so wonderful that you guys have it here in January. What are some of the things people could do at the Winter Village?
Well, it's so important to get outside, right? I mean, our parks, especially in our urban areas, are really our backyards. There are front yards. There are places where we meet each other, we recreate. And certainly the downtown is where the entire city comes to meet and to enjoy. And we gather ourselves with our visitors. So the Winter Village is a space where you can actually get outside during the winter and enjoy yourself and have fun. We have ice skating. We have what we're calling, exactly, you just put it up on this, go-karts on ice, which are essentially bumper cars. They're so much fun.
Oh my gosh, that looks so much fun.
They're so much fun. You can rent an igloo and you can be inside the igloo with your friends. It's so funny. Your pictures are going with my commentary here. There's also lots of food. We have great food from some of Newark's best vendors. We have Afro Taco. We have fried Oreos. We have Black Swan giving out coffee and hot chocolate as well as cider. And you also have an opportunity to shop with some local vendors while you're at the village. So there's lots to do. There's games, there's opportunities to take cool selfies, and to really just experience the wonder of winter, not just the holiday season, but winter in general.
Yeah, it seems like such a fun idea too. And like you said, it gives people something to do, even if there is no snow on the ground for the snow lovers. Tell us a little bit about the heated igloos, because we saw a quick picture of it, but how do you get those rented? How do you be a part of that?
Yeah, if you're interested in visiting Winter Village, it is free to enter. But if you would like to skate or you want to rent an igloo, you have to go online and do your reservation. So it's newarkwintervillage.com. You just go online and you reserve a time slot, and then you and your family or friends can come down and enjoy a heated igloo, which is very important.
Oh, yes.
I love it. It's really cool.
That sounds amazing. I'm like Newark Winter Village. What went into putting all of this together?
Well, of course, none of this would be possible without any of the sponsors that we have. I mean, we've been really blessed. Not only has the First Lady of Newark, Mrs. Linda Baraka, been a real champion to make sure that Newark has its very own skate rink. She's really been a driving force in it. But in addition to that, we've had some phenomenal sponsors, the Morgan family, New Jersey EDA. We've also had support from Prudential, the New Jersey Devils, folks like the Friends of Mulberry Commons, which is the park that is actually hosting Winter Village. So a lot goes into it. We had to lay down the ice. We had to, basically transform the space into a winter wonderland with a full operational ice skate rink. So it was great to see the transformation, and wonderful just to see what you can do in an open space and the ways in which you can transform it to fit, not only the needs of the community, but what people want to do for fun and for enjoyment with their friends and family.
Yeah, right in the middle of Brick City. That's amazing. How long is this running for, and where can people find more information?
So this is our closing weekend, actually. So we have lots of fun going on. We're doing a big celebration on Sunday with some performances, and of course you can get on the ice. But Sunday is actually our last day. We are open from 3 to 8 until Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 8. If folks want to get more information, you can visit newarkwintervillage.com, and you can also visit newarkcityparksfoundation.com for more information there.
So much fun. Congratulations. This looks like a really good time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
We
being
hope
with
to
us.
see you guys. Come on down. Newark is waiting we want to celebrate not only with Newarkers, but we want to invite people to come to our great city and join in the fun with us. We can't have all the fun by ourselves.
No, you guys, there's such good food in Newark
Yes.
too. I'd love to go out to eat in Newark.
Oh,
for
Afro
sure.
Taco is not to be missed. I'm telling you right now, make sure you have lots of room in your belly before you come down to Winter Village.
It's not a
Love
problem I
it.
have usually. Marcy, thanks
Yay.
so much. We appreciate it.
Okay, take care. Thanks for having me.
You're like, that's not a problem for me.
Not a problem. Never met a taco I don't
Always
like.
hungry. Yep.
Yeah,
Same.
absolutely. All right, guys, we are going to wrap things up today with a check of sports with our own Chris Taconis.
Thanks so much, guys. Rutgers basketball star Cam Spencer comes up with his second game-winning three-pointer in the last 4 games. Scarlet Knights take down Northwestern 65-62 on the road last night. Spencer finished with 23 points for the Scarlet Knights, who now find themselves 4-2 in Big Ten play, ahead of a critical matchup against Ohio State in Piscataway on Sunday afternoon. Giants are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. They'll head up to Minnesota on Sunday afternoon, seeking a trip back to the NFC divisional round. New York already played the Vikings this year, with Minnesota walking away on top with a 27-24 win on Christmas Eve. So a bit of a revenge match there for a Big Blue. Finally, we'll take a look at some of the college basketball action coming up this weekend. In addition to Rutgers, Ohio State, Seton Hall head out to Chicago in search of their 3rd straight win against DePaul on Saturday. Ivy League leading Princeton will head up to face Brown. Monmouth will travel to Towson, looking to get their 2nd win of the year. And Ryder faces a tough test on the road against Rick Pitino and the Iona Gales. That's what's going on in sports. I'll send it back over to you.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much. A lot going on.
Hey,
So busy.
Go Knights, go Big Blue. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this morning. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Kristina Behr. We'll be back right here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a good one.